சன் நியூஸ் நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். இன்னைக்கு ஷோல நம்ம யாரை மீட் பண்ண போறோம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா பாலிவுட் சூப்பர் ஸ்டார் ஆமீர் கான் அவர்கள் தான். வணக்கம் சார்.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Chennai.
Thank you.
Great to have you here in Chennai, sir. Because since your movie Rangila got released in Tamil, we Tamil people are big fans of.
Oh, since Rangila is
Yeah,
it?
yes, sir.
See. Oh.
So now your Laal Singh Chaddha is getting released in Tamil. So we are so excited for the movie.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that.
How well do you think this movie will connect with Tamil audience, and what do you think about Tamil audience and their reception of your movie?
Well, I was doing a film with Murugadas sir.
Yeah,
called
Gajni, the remake.
Yeah, and that time I really enjoyed working with him, and we spoke a lot about Tamil cinema and Tamil audiences. And he told me that your films are quite appreciated in Tamil Nadu, and they like the film. So I got a lot of encouragement
Yeah, sir.
when he told me that. So I'm hoping that this film will be well received, and we have made the film with a lot of heart and love and care.
Yes, sir.
And we're really hoping that it touches the hearts of Tamil audiences in the same way that it has touched our heart
Yes, sir.
when
Sure,
we were
sir.
making it. Yeah.
It's a great news for Tamil audience that your movie is getting released in Tamil.
Yes.
So we waited for 4 years for your another movie, but you waited for 14 years
Yeah.
for this movie.
For this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was
can
a
you
lot.
describe the journey of
Well,
the?
it happened by accident actually, because as you know, Forrest Gump is a very popular film in
Yeah.
America. It's a very cult classic film. It's very well loved.
Yeah, true.
Like we have, classic films in India, Mother India and all that. So like that, it is a very classic film of America. So I could never think of making it because it's, such films you cannot imagine also that you can make again. So it had never occurred to me. But one day my friend Atul Kulkarni and I were sitting, he's an actor and he and I have done Rang De Basanti together and all. So he was saying, what is your favorite film? And, this is exactly 14 years ago. And we were in my house and I said Forrest Gump is one of them, and we spoke about other films also, and then we forgot about it. Next day, I resumed my life, and 2 weeks later Atul called me. And he said, I have a script for you. So I said, but you don't write, you're not a writer. He said, yeah, but I have to write. So I said, okay. I said, what have you written? He said, I have written Forrest Gump. I said, wow. He said, we were talking about it. Next day I had a shooting of 2 weeks which got cancelled. So I decided, let me see the film and let me see if I can write an adaptation. And within 2 weeks I have done it. So I was very surprised, and quite honestly I was not very hopeful. Because one, he's not a writer. Two, he's written it in 2 weeks. Three, he's written Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
So, and Forrest Gump is a very, culturally it's very American. All its references are all very American. So it's very difficult to imagine it in another country or another culture. So I also could not imagine it. Until I heard the script. When I heard Atul's narration and what he had adapted, then I fell in love with it. I realized that he's done something very beautiful, and somehow he's managed to make the film Indian. And when I'm hearing the script, I feel I'm hearing an Indian film. All the references and his placement of the film in India is so beautifully done. The timeline of what's happening in the country, he's matched it beautifully.
Yes, sir.
So that's when I got excited. And I said, now we must make this film. Then the journey began to try and get the rights. It took us 8 years, 8-9 years to get the rights.
Okay.
And then, of course, we started shooting it. Then, like everyone else, bang in the middle of the shooting, we were halfway through and COVID struck.
Yeah.
Then, from then onwards, to complete the film was a very difficult task. Not only for us, but for every filmmaker who was trying to shoot in these times.
It sure is a special film for you. So, Laal Singh Chaddha, you as an actor goes through a lot of transformation for each of your character. And in this movie, so what was the toughest part in getting into the skin of this character?
The toughest part was that I had to become innocent. And when I say innocent, I mean Lal's most remarkable quality is that he's a very pure soul. He's a very innocent person. And he doesn't have any negativity in him at all. He cannot think negative for anyone. The way his mother has brought him is very special, and he loves his mother, and his mother is a big influence on him. So, my biggest challenge as an actor was that while being in the 50s, I'm in the 50s, my age is 57 now when I started uh, prepping this film. It was 4 years ago. So I was in my 50s and I had to play a character which goes 18, 18, 19, 20, 20, early 20s, then late 20s. So I'm playing a younger person for a portion of the film, and then he goes through the age until he's 45, 47. So that part I was very worried, because when you've lived life, you have been through so many experiences, you have so many memories, you have so many little things you have gathered over the years. Uh, you have to unlearn all of that. You have to try and remove all of that and try and remember at 18, the kind of perhaps simplicity you had for many things, which later on you get slightly cynical, you get slightly experienced. So to get there was my toughest challenge, I think.
So that was the preparations you had to undergo for this movie.
Well, I was preparing like I do for all films, trying to get into the head of the character, but I got help from very unexpected quarters.
Like so?
So what happened is, this is a very tough film, and I was telling Advait that you have made one film, and I'm not sure you can handle such a complex film. It's a very complex film to handle. It's got many layers, and you're not yet experienced enough for it. So he was very excited. So I said, you do one thing, you shoot 7-8 scenes, and we will test you as a director. If you shoot these scenes well, then you can handle this film. So he said, okay. And I chose some tough scenes. And I told him, you shoot these without me as an actor. You have to get another actor. And the performance must come of Laal. Because we are testing you as a director. So he said, okay. And coincidentally, around that time, my son had just returned from LA. Because he had gone to study theatre over there. So he studied for 3 years, and he was just back. And when Advait asked me, who should I use for Laal? I said, use Junaid. We'll come to know what he's learnt also. He'll become a 2-in-1. So he said, okay. I said, go ahead. So in 2 weeks they did the rehearsal, and after 2 weeks they showed me the screen test. So when I saw the screen test, I realized that Advait as a director is very capable. He's handled it very well. So we were convinced that he's the right person. The thing that threw us off was Junaid's performance. His performance was so good.
So we can also expect Junaid to follow your steps.
I don't know. That we will see. I don't know. Every role he'll do so well, I don't know. But this particular role, he was doing it very well. And his innocence, he was 24 at that time, 23, 24. His innocence and the way he was performing it. Kiran and I were watching first. So after it got over, it was about 20 minutes long. I turned to Kiran and I said, I think we found the Laal. So she said, yeah, he's done really well. I said, but we were not looking for him. I'm supposed to play Laal. And I've searched, waited 8 years to get this rights and all that. And now suddenly someone else is doing better than me. And actually what happened is, when I saw him, I felt I'm seeing Laal. I thought I'm seeing Laal. So then I got flummoxed. I said, how will I now do this role? Because I'm feeling that somebody else is Laal. It's very difficult for a creative person to, come out of that.
Yeah, actually, we cannot expect anybody else to play the role of Laal.
So then for many months, this was happening, that maybe he will do it, maybe he will do it. And I showed it to a number of colleagues of mine and people whose judgment I trust. And out of 100 people, 98 people told me that he's right, you should go with him. Only 2 people told me don't. One was Atul Kulkarni, the writer, and the other was Adi Chopra, who is a friend of mine. He's also a producer in Hindi. And both of them had the same reason. They said, look, this is a film which is a very episodic film. It goes from one episode to the other. So no newcomer should be cast in a film which is episodic. You need a star to bind it together, hold it together. That made sense to me.
Adaptation of a classic movie.
So what happened in the whole process is that, because I could see those 7-8 scenes, how Junaid had done, my son's name is Junaid, that gave me the cue. I was struggling till then how to get that innocence, and I saw it in front of me. So when you see the film, I will show you the test also. So you will understand how as an actor, I got aided that I could see someone perform and I could really see. So when also I realized his approach to scenes were different.
Okay.
His reaction was unusual. He was reacting in a way I would have never reacted.
So he kind of helped you through the
Yeah, because
preparations.
he was reacting like a young person.
Yeah.
I was reacting like a mature person who's trying to be young. Whereas his response was of a young person. So I could get that tips from watching him that, okay, this is how I need to do it. That helped me a lot, actually.
Okay.
So I got help from the most unexpected quarters. I didn't expect.
Yeah. So, and about the cast of the movie, Kareena Kapoor Khan and South India's favorite Naga Chaitanya.
Yeah.
So, how was that experience working with them?
Well, I think we are really lucky to have such a wonderful cast. Originally, I think some people might remember we had cast Vijay Sethupathi in this part of Bala, yeah.
Okay.
And Laal and Bala are like brothers. They're literally like brothers. I would not even call them friends. They're like brothers. They're as if they're same, almost like they are twins in a way. Very similar personalities. So that casting was very important. And, I think Naga Chaitanya he's got that quality in his personality. He's very simple, he's very unassuming, he's very innocent, he's very bhola, That's the kind of character we needed. And so Che has done a wonderful job. He's such an amazing actor. He's so sharp, he knows exactly what to do. And he's such a wonderful human being. And Kareena, similarly, I've worked with her. This is my third
third movie.
And she's just a pleasure to work with. She's such a fine artist. She kind of melts into the part, when we are shooting. So I just get fascinated watching her. And she's a lovely person to work with, very comfortable to work with. When we're doing a scene, and as actors, when you're sometimes struggling to get certain things, with certain actors you can have a good give and take, and that gets solved very well, when you do the rehearsals. And if you're having trouble and you tell the other actor, I'm having trouble this, can you come a little faster? So she's very she works
very
with,
comfortable.
Yeah, she works
work
like a team,
Okay.
And she's very good to work with. Yeah.
Okay, so we have talked about the cast and all, and this movie has been filmed in 100 different locations, Indian locations.
Many locations.
Many
yeah.
locations. How was that, sir? Because we saw that in trailer, that running sequence.
Yeah.
That we heard that that was for 1.5 months. The shooting
we were
went.
traveling the country. Yeah.
So how was that, sir?
It was a great experience. First of all, we got to see so many places that we would have never seen otherwise. And when the sequence, when we were about to shoot the sequence, in fact, much earlier, we knew that there's a sequence where Laal runs across the country for 4 years. And so we knew that this is a great opportunity for us to showcase the beauty of our country. The varied kind of terrains that we have in our country, and really the whole beauty of the country can come out very beautifully. So we tried to do that.
And also we want to know this one thing, sir. Like your script choosing is like to another level. Your level of script choosing is, how do you choose something to adapt, like Gajni or this movie? What are the aspects that goes into?
I don't know why people think I've done all that. Because they see my face, I think they feel that. See, Gajni is Murugadas's film, and he has adapted it so beautifully. It's it's his baby. I'm happy it came to me. I'm happy I got the opportunity to do that film. For example, Laal Singh Chaddha. The entire adaptation, how the scenes have come, how he has done the timeline, all this Atul has done. So the scripting has been done by the writers. I come in much later.
But you choose the scripts very well.
Yeah, I choose the script as per my choice, and I'm happy and fortunate that these wonderful scripts have come my way. They need not have come my way.
We are fortunate to see you act in those movies, sir. We are fortunate. Sir, and one more very important question is, when can we see you in direct Tamil film?
Oh, I would love to do that. Yeah. I would love to be part of a Tamil film, and
If so, which actors you would like to act with?
I don't think like that actually. For me, the story is very important. If I get a lovely story, then I would love to do it. And language would be a problem for me. But if I really get excited by the script, then I would have to learn the language, and so acting in another language is usually very tough. A language which you don't know entirely, it's very difficult. But if the script is exciting, then an actor will.
And
do
also,
that
we Tamil people love you, so please.
Or sometimes you can even find a script where it's a Tamil film, but you have a Hindi character in it, who doesn't speak Tamil very well. His Tamil is broken and all that. He tries to speak, but at least people understand. But they don't expect him to speak fluently. So if the role is like this, then it will be, more natural also for me. It will be natural for the audience watching also.
Yeah, so we can expect you in that kind of
I hope
movie
so.
very soon. And yes, that's Aamir Khan for us. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time,
It's lovely
sir.
talking to you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you so
Laal
much.
Singh Chaddha on 11th of August on theaters.
Yes,
Thank you so much, sir.
thank you.
Thank you.
உடனுக்குடன் செய்திகளை தெரிந்து கொள்ள சன் நியூஸ் பெல் ஐகானை கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க.